Alright gamers, and especially Godzilla fans who probably saw my review, or three-part review I should say, of Godzilla Destroy All Monsters, Save the Earth, and Unleashed, which I thought were pretty decent games, especially probably the best Godzilla games ever made, just being that they finally got the whole Godzilla fighting game thing right. Because in the past, we pretty much got crapped on here in the United States when it came to Godzilla games. So, but I did leave you on a bit of a cliffhanger, being that I left one out that I'm sure most of you were anxious to see. Do you really want me to do this one? Because here it is, for the PS4. And yet there's also a version available on PS3, but I've never found such version available in a physical disc copy. It must be only a digital download available version. But this one's available on digital download for PS4, and as well as PS4 game disc. So this one apparently is only a PlayStation exclusive for some reason, and it came out about almost a year before in Japan, before it hit the United States for both the PS3 and PS4, which makes perfect sense because it's obviously, it's Godzilla, and, it's made in Japan, takes place in Japan most of the time. In fact, the name Godzilla is Japanese. You can see the Japanese name right on there, come on. And Namco Bandai, yep, this time it's Namco Bandai stepping in on this one. Not Atari, but a different company. And most people have pretty negatively received this game. So, is this game really that bad again? And I know the same happened with Unleashed, which I didn't think was a bad game. But, gonna be honest, I sort of agree with the reactions on this one. Now, don't get me wrong. As soon as you start the game up, you got the main Godzilla theme and everything, which is a welcome addition. And some of the graphics and everything are decent, but for PS4, it really looks a bit generic, and it really could have had more variety to it. And when you start the game up, you're given this, you're just brought into the game, and all you're doing is just walking, and the graphics don't even look that great. And honestly, it's not very appealing to the eye. And for PlayStation 4, which gave us great games like Last of Us Remastered, Tomb Raider, and so forth, this just doesn't look that great. And honestly, look at the first problem. Yeah, you're playing as Godzilla, that's fine because it's a Godzilla game, but you move so damn slow, this is a problem. Yep, I understand he's big and everything and probably really heavy, but I think he can move a little faster than this. I mean, this just makes it more tedious than ever. And one problem, even though it does give you a tutorial, this is obviously the first tutorial stage and they're trying to get you used to the controls and everything. And yeah, a lot of people complained about the controls with this one. I'm gonna say, yeah, they are sort of an issue. Now don't get me wrong, they're functional and everything, but they're a bit wonky here and there. They're a little bit worse than Unleashed. And another big problem is trying to move yourself side to side. Yeah, you'd think it would just be as easy as moving the analog stick, you got the two analog sticks on your controller, but no, you'll also have to press R1 and L1 to move yourself left and right, to face a certain direction. Why has it gotta be that hard? It shouldn't be that hard. I mean, when you notice that simply just something as simple as moving yourself left and right to face a different direction is more cryptic than ever, then you got a problem. Another problem is, yeah, aside from moving too slow, you don't have that many variety of moves. Trying to learn them is really difficult, and yeah, unless you got the manual or memorized it off the top of your head, most of the moves are just so damn slow. Everything is so damn slow in this. There's not much variety, and the mission objectives are most of the time taking out generators. Yes, generators. That's all you do in this game. I'm serious. And honest to God, moving so slow and taking them out so slowly, it just makes it more tedious and less fun than ever. And occasionally you do get, kaiju monsters that pop up, the typical monsters that you pretty much are familiar with in the Godzilla games. And fighting them just isn't very much fun either. And also, when you're fighting a monster, or basically if you're on screen, shouldn't you have a health meter? Only your enemy monster has a health meter. Instead, you don't have one. Instead, it goes every time you take, a lot of damage, which happens most of the time when the monster's fighting you. When the army's trying to shoot you, obviously you don't take that much damage, depending on what difficulty you're playing it on, but it's pretty obvious that Godzilla doesn't take damage from the army. I mean, you can just run over tanks and take out planes, and you can use your atomic breath and do EMPs on certain vehicles and take them out. That's fine, I like that. You know, it's fun just destroying the hell out of things, just walking through a city and destroying buildings. But God, it's gotta be so freaking tedious just doing it so slow and waiting for your meter to build up. You have nothing to, you know, regain any of that just a lot quicker. Now, I know I complained about that in a previous game, that using all these things that appear and get your health back and, you know, your atomic meter up, but this game, I kind of feel like at least the atomic meter refill thing should be there, instead of having to wait for it to fill back up, because you really need it. Because these moves, face it, they're just too slow. And everything is too slow in this game. I mean, and also what's really annoying is this freaking woman keeps talking. God, I mean, I understand, you know, Godzilla's a threat to the city and humanity and everything because he's destroying things, but God, can't you just shut up? I'm like, come on! I get what you mean. You don't have to freaking narrate the whole situation. I just wish I could shut her the hell up. But honestly, let's face it, this game, the missions are repetitive, and the controls are not that great. And also, what's worse is this is the main part of the game. I mean, destroying generators, fighting random monsters, and destroying these flying saucer things. Ugh. And yeah, I know there's other mission objectives that are similar and just as repetitive, like protecting the city and generators and so forth from oncoming monsters, but really, they're just as repetitive as you could imagine and boring as you can imagine. Characters move too slow, as I said, and it's just extremely tedious and boring. So, is there a basic actual fighting part of the game? Well, there is, but you have to fight through waves of monsters. This seems more appropriate. Starts out easy for the most part, and then when I finally make it to the last guy, I get my ass kicked. Once again, there's no health meter. I don't understand why this is. Instead, once again, it goes to this bloodied up screen similar to Call of Duty. God, I don't know how they screwed that up. I think the simplest thing to have is just a simple health meter. Though, to be fair though, the other monster you're facing has one, but as I said, it's just too slow, and it seems to take forever to defeat your enemy. So, you just gotta keep charging up your atomic meter. Or, well, wait till it charges up to be exact, and just use it on him. You know, breathe that atomic breath. And as you can tell, Godzilla is the monster to use. And of course, you also have online mode for you basic fighting fans of Godzilla games. Yep, that's right, being that this is PS4, not Nintendo Wii or Wii U. Yep, there's an online. Play against friends or play against just a simple stranger. You can go one-on-one or one-on-two. Of course, this stinking server has to take forever. Choose your monster, select the city, and what? Seriously, they can't even put real city names in here? Are you serious? No Tokyo, no San Francisco, no New York, nothing. Just generic names like these. Ugh. Anyway, believe it or not, this online mode actually does show your health meter. Well, okay, it's obviously blocked out here, but it does come up. Believe me, it does. And yes, the screen also does bloody up when, of course, you're near death. But, ugh, yeah, don't you just love when games lag like this? Ugh, just destroys the fun. Thankfully, after a while, I managed to get it working, just to get my ass handed to me by other players with a better rank. Yeah, you gotta rank your characters up, each one by one. You know, this just destroys the fun right here. It really does. Sure, eventually you get more monsters and everything unlocked, but with what you have to go through to get them unlocked and then rank them up, I mean, this is just ridiculous. It really is. I'm sorry. It just really, it ruins the fun of what could have been a great game on a superior console. And this is PlayStation 4. So there's no excuse to why it shouldn't be better than the previous installments. And I know, like I said, Unleashed may have its flaws, but trust me, I think this is even worse. I mean, as much as I love destroying shit, buildings and stuff, still, the lack of variety is highly noticeable in this game. Compared to the previous installments, which have much more variety of gameplay, this one just doesn't, I'm sorry to say. And I think I could see why Nintendo and Xbox sat out on this one, because, let me tell you, it ain't King of Monsters, I'm sorry to say. So, with a little enjoyment, you can honestly say, it's worthy of just a plain Wii Remote up, but a Wii Remote Wii Motion Plus down. That'll piss Godzilla off quite a bit. So, till next time, happy gaming.